is Semester 1 Assessment Review for Grade 8 English at ISR.
The best of friends. Julia and Ethel were the best of friends. This was most likely because they enjoyed telling each other stories. Julia liked to construct mysteries, and Ethel liked nothing better than to solve them. For both of them, creating and solving mysteries became an ongoing game. Ethel was so successful at it that she had already decided what she wanted to do when she graduated from school. One day, Julia presented Ethel with her most baffling mystery yet. It concerned a rather curious old woman from the neighborhood by the name of Mrs. Gottalot. The time was the end of summer. Mrs. Gottalot was moving into a new home on the other side of town. She wanted to have one final farewell party at her old house before turning over the keys to the new owners. Most of her furniture had been moved, but some of her personal belongings remained in the old house. To make her goodbye memorable, she asked her son, an ice sculptor, to carve a magnificent sculpture of her old house and display it in the backyard. During the party, Mrs. Gadala realized that a box containing her jewelry was missing from her storage room. Immediately, the town's most famous and respected detective was summoned to the scene. When Detective Dragon arrived, he surveyed the party room quickly. He thought. No furniture, doors, and windows locked from the inside, and small puddles of water in the storage room. Dragon looked carefully at everyone in the room. His hand rose slowly to his face as he held his chin between his thumb and forefinger. My neighbor thinks I've simply misplaced my jewels, but I haven't, swore Mrs. Gadala. Drogon shrugged off that notion. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, he said. You will find the missing jewels on the top of that closet. Don't be silly, Detective Dragon, cried Mrs. Gadala. That shelf is 9 feet from the floor. There is no way the thief could have reached so high. Let us look, just to be sure, said Dragon. They brought a ladder in from the garage and looked on the shelf. Sure enough, the jewels were carefully concealed inside an old hat box. Now, said Julia to Ethel as she finished the story, the problem is this. As Mrs. Gadala has already pointed out, the shelf is 9 feet high. How were those jewels placed on that top shelf? Ethel's hand rose slowly to her face as she thought through the problem. Then she smiled. Mimicking the detective, she grasped her chin between her thumb and forefinger. I have it, she said. Ethel paced slowly back and forth in front of Julia. The ice sculpture, the puddles, the party, she started. Here's the solution. The thieves are the ones who delivered a large block of ice to the party. They obviously noticed the jewel box, stole the jewels, and hid them in the closet. They used the block of ice to stand on it and reach the high shelf. If I guessed correctly, the thieves would return it to the scene of the crime the next day to collect their treasure. By George, I think you've got it, cried Julia. What type of genre is this text? Yes, Ali.
Fictional narrative.
It's a fictional narrative. Very good. What point of view is the story told in? Yes. Third person point of view. Okay. Why did Julia include in her story the detail about the ice sculpture? Yes, Selena.
The ice sculpture helped them figure out the mystery because he left over important evidence.
Okay, so
He left important evidence.
it left important evidence, the ice sculpture, you mean? So what was the important evidence that the ice sculpture left? Very good. The ice sculpture makes the listener or reader or reader, think. Since what happens to ice?
melts.
So what happened? We had
Making
what?
small petals.
Making small petals. Petals of what?
Water.
Very good. In Julia's story, what happened right after Mrs. Godelot's report that her jewelry was missing? Yes.
The town's most famous and respected detective was summoned to the scene.
Okay, the detective was summoned. What does it mean to be summoned?
Called.
Very good. Detective Dragon and Ethel successfully solve the mystery. What does each character do that helps him or her reach a solution? Use accurate, explicit text evidence to support your answer. So we have to divide the answer into two. What are the two things we have to divide them into?
Detective Dragon and Ethel.
Very good, into the two characters. So let's first talk about who?
Detective Dragon.
Okay, so let's start with Detective Dragon. Okay, what can you tell me about him? Yes.
He started looking for clues that the thieves might have left behind.
Okay, so he looked for clues
The thieves might have left.
left behind. All right. What else? What about Ethel? Yes?
He gathered all the evidences found and he figured out the solution.
Okay, so she gathered evidence and came to a conclusion. Okay, who gave, did Detective Dragon give the solution?
No, he just gave that where the place of the jewelry was.
So he knew where the jewelry was.
Yes.
Okay, so Detective Dragon looked for clues left behind and found
The missing.
the jewels, right?
Yes.
However, Ethel gathered the evidence and came to a conclusion of how? Of how?
The jewelry reached the top shelf.
Jewelry
Was on the top shelf.
got to the top shelf. Okay, what kind of work will Ethel most likely do when she finishes school? What do you think she'll do when she finishes school, Ethel? What does she like to do? It's okay, try.
She will become a detective based on what she said.
Okay, very good. So, she will become a detective. And what did she say exactly? Yes, Selena.
The story said that Ethel liked nothing better than solving mysteries.
Okay, detective as the story stated. Ethel
Liked nothing better than solving mysteries.
Very good. Excellent.
So you know this.
Okay. So a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, he said. You will find the missing jewels on the top shelf of that closet. What does the proverb, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, mean? Let's start from the bottom. Can it be D?
No.
How come?
Because they say a knowledge is dangerous and it's not helpful.
Okay, so they're describing a knowledge as dangerous, not helpful. Okay, C?
No, because
They're
crime
not
is not
talking
involved.
about crimes.
Okay, they're not talking about crimes. Let's go to A.
It's fair to make a wild guess that we don't think it's wrong because it's not dangerous.
Okay, so making a wild guess is not giving us an idea about danger. All right, what about B?
People who are not experts are often wrong.
Because not experts.
Okay, not experts.
Knowledge.
Little knowledge.
Dangerous thing are often wrong.
Okay, very good. So if Mrs. Got-a-lot listened to her neighbor and said, yeah, I probably misplaced it, would they have ever found the jewels?
No.
Okay, very good. So that's why a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. And if I see Badir doesn't come to class and I say, oh, Badir must be a horrible student, but then he was very sick. What did I do with that little bit of knowledge? Okay, made a big mistake, and that's a dangerous thing for me to say that he's a horrible student when he's absent because he's sick, rather than saying that he's a horrible student for not being in class. Okay, let's complete the story map on Julia's story. Who can give me the setting? Yes, Ali?
Mr. Gotalot's house.
Okay, Mrs. Got-a-lot's house
At the end of the summer.
at the end of the summer. Characters?
Julia.
Mr. Toto.
Ethel. Dragon.
Mrs.
Gotalot.
And the minor characters, Mrs. Gotalot's son.
Okay, minor characters.
The thieves.
Okay, the thieves and the neighbor. Okay, what was the problem in the story? Yes.
The visit of jewelry box.
Reeboks. And we can say it's Mrs. Got-a-lot's jewelry box. Alright, how was the problem solved?
The detective found where was the place of the box, and Ethel found out who the thieves were by using
Okay, so the detective
found the box.
used clues from the room to find the jewels. And Ethel used what?
Evidence.
Used evidence to infer
That who the thieves was.
what happened. Excellent.
No.
So choose the synonym for the bold word from the passage. Yes. Very good. Is it a barber? What's a barber? Person who cuts hair. Mechanic?
Copy.
Okay, what's the next one? Hassan?
Copy.
So mimicking means
Copy.
copying. Is it succeeding if you mimic? What about running? Summoned. Very good, excellent. So these three words that you learned from the text, you know them now, so you can use them in your writing. However, for your exam, I do want you to know that I will probably bring something a little bit more advanced for you, where you have to use context clues to tell me exact meaning, and I won't give you a multiple choice here in this instant, okay? But there will be enough clues for you to find the definitions. Now go back to the text, to paragraph 1, and I want you to tell me what the it, that's bold, dark, refers to. Yes.
Solving mysteries.
Solving mysteries, did you all agree?
Yes.
Okay, so it refers to solving mysteries. You may get questions where I ask you What does he refer to? What does it refer to? What does that refer to? So there are many different types of pronoun references. All right? Complete each sentence with a preposition and a form of the verb in parentheses. Go ahead.
They have been looking forward to going on vacation.
Very good. Next one. Hassan?
Security personnel are prohibiting all children to getting on the bus.
From?
From
Okay, from getting. And you have all of these rules in your grammar book, page I think 301 in that chapter. Yes.
one student is blaming another student for stealing his pencil.
Okay, so when we have blame, we use for. Okay, let's do the verbals in the next one. Yes, Badia?
Cooking is my favorite hobby. Present participle.
Cooking is my favorite hobby. Which is the verbal? Yes? Cooking is the verbal. And what type of verbal is it? It's a gerund. Be careful not to get confused between the present participle and the gerund because they are the same form. So you have to look at the position in the sentence. Cooking acts as a subject here, so it's considered a gerund, okay? Yes.
My mother was the one to teach me how to live happily. To teach.
To teach. What is it?
Infinitive.
Infinitive. Excellent. Okay, the next one. Yes? So this is an indicative sentence. Yes.
Did the boys do their homework? Interrogative.
Interrogative. Very good. So question is interrogative. Rewrite these using a different mood. Number 1.
Help me with my homework.
Very good. Help me with my homework. It was first what type of sentence? And now you made it? Excellent. Imperative. It's like a command. Help me with my homework. No question. Yes.
Pick up your little sister from school tomorrow. Can you pick up your little sister from school tomorrow?
Very good. So it was what type of sentence?
It was an imperative and we changed it to interrogative.
Very good. Okay, who can give me the past and past participles of these irregular verbs? So these are the verbs required for the exam. So you should know these. I won't bring you other irregular verbs that are not mentioned here. Okay? Alright, go ahead to number 1. Had. Hassan?
Made.
And the last one?
Made.
Made as well. Okay. Built.
Yes.
Lend.
Lent.
Excellent. Are these available in your books? Yes, they're written in your books so that if you don't remember one, you can actually go back to your book and find them. Yes,
Sent.
very good. Ali.
Left. Spent.
Ala.
Lost. Slept.
Okay.
Fell.
Very good. Sat. Next. Hung.
Broken.
spoken.
Very good.
Spoken.
Very good.
Warring.
War. Drew, drawn. Grew, grown. Do we ever say thinked? Okay. Yes, Hassan? Taught. Do we ever say teached? Never. Continue. Caught. Cut. Hit. Do we ever say hitted? Never. Okay, let's do these. You have to use simple present or present progressive, and I beg you, read the directions carefully, because if you don't, you may get the wrong answers, although you may have it in the correct tense. So make sure you read directions carefully. Go ahead, Badir.
Right now I am looking at the board.
Very good. What was your clue?
Right now.
Okay.
I saw some words written by my teacher.
You look at this. What tense is it?
Oh, it's about
Past. So what tense should I use?
I'm seeing some words.
I see or I am seeing? I see. I see would be the best. I see some words. So if you tell me, I'm looking at the board, I ask you, what do you see? I see some words. Okay? Continue. Ali.
Do you need some help, Mr. Ahmed?
Mrs. Ahmed. Very good. Do you need? Now here, do you see how we use do? In what tense did we use it?
Present.
Very good. And if I were to ask you to use the past, how would you say it? Did. Excellent. All right. Continue. Can you continue, Ali?
Do you want me to carry this box for you?
Very good. Okay, next one. Go ahead, Selena.
Yes, thank you. That's very kind of you. Who is that man? I think
Yes.
that I know him, but I don't remember his name.
Very good. Continue.
The earth spins.
The earth spins.
The earth is spinning.
Is spinning. And what tells you that you should say is spinning rather than spins? All right, great. Yes?
Maria went to bed at 12 a.m. At 2:30 a.m. Badia slept.
Very good. Oh, wait. Should I say at 10:30 Badia slept? Or, because look what the time was. From 10 p.m. you went to sleep. Right, Badia? 10 p.m. you went to sleep. That was yesterday, right? Because we're using the past. At 10:30, which is here, what was happening? Were you still sleeping? What time did you wake up? At 10:30 p.m. So what tense should we use when we have something that's continuing?
Past continuous.
Very good. If we have something continuing, either in the future, in the present, or in the past, we use the continuous or progressive. Continuous or progressive. And the rule for the continuous progressive is what? To use the form be plus the root word
Plus ing.
ing. That tells us it's continuous. So here when we have the time 10 p.m. and a continuing event that's still happening because it doesn't indicate that it's completed, we must use the progressive or the continuous tense. So if I am to put this in the continuous, Badir, what would it be? Was sleeping. Very good. So now that you made this mistake today, will we make the same mistake on Thursday's exam? No, we won't, because we made the mistake already. We're not going to do the same. We're not going to make the same mistake again, right? So excellent. Thank you for making this mistake. Ali.
When Ali was sleeping, the alarm rang.
Okay, how do you know you should use was sleeping, the continuous? What word?
Because the word was.
Excellent. The alarm rang. Very good. Hassan.
When Hassan saw his teacher, she was standing.
Excellent, Hassan. Hamad.
His teacher.
His teacher was
Waving.
Excellent, Hassan. Was waving at Hassan when she saw him. Very good. Okay, let's do the error analysis. We're going to circle the errors and correct the 5 errors on the lines provided. So how many errors should you look for? 5. Does it specify where the errors are, or can it be any type of error? So be careful with these kinds of questions, okay? Always read carefully. Ala, can you read? Very good. And how do you know you should use the word visits? Because it's something habitual, it's something usual. So I can't circle this. I would say once a month, usual. So we use the present tense. Present tense. Continue, please. Ali?
They are young and lives with their mom and dad.
Is there any mistakes here?
No.
They are young and lives with their mom and dad.
And arguing. They are.
Okay, we should say they live. Very good. So instead of saying lives, we say live because we have plurals. When we have plural, we say are they live. Okay, rather than s. If it were is, she is young and lives, we would say, but they are talking about more than one, so we say live. Continue, done.
Ala is thinking that they are not his cousin.
Is thinking. Thinks. Very good. Continue, Salin.
When she is there, Ala helps her cousins with their homework. Ala is a sweet young lady.
Okay, is there anything here?
No.
Okay, continue.
Last year, Dana were in Africa. Now she lives in Lebanon. Where was?
Very good. Continue, please. Ali?
Now she lives in Lebanon. Now she is living in Lebanon.
No, it's correct. To say now she lives in Lebanon is correct. Continue.
She was studying
Very good. So if you think that you might be mistaken between two, continue reading and see if there's more mistakes. If one sounds like it can be also true, like yes, you can say she is living, it's correct to say that, but it's also correct to say now she lives in Lebanon. They're both correct. So don't make something correct into a mistake. For full credit, you must circle the error and then correct it on the line. And I'll probably give you numbers under as well. So it would be the first. So for example, you write the numbers and the numbers on the line to show what you corrected. Okay, is that clear? Any questions?
No.
Okay, let's write the ing and ed forms of the following verbs. If they are irregular verbs, of course you must give the irregular form. Number 1, Badia.
First, ing, killing.
Okay.
B.
How should we spell it?
Double N, ing.
Alright.
Began.
Began because it's an irregular verb. Okay. Occur. Hassan.
Occurring.
How should we spell it?
ing. Occur, ing.
Okay, so we add R-I-N-G. Very good. And occurred, R-E-D. So we must add an extra R. Hassan.
Trying, trying.
Okay, can you spell trying?
Trying.
And tried?
Tried.
Okay, and refer?
Referring, we double the R
Double R.
and referred to double R.
Run.
Running, double N.
Do we always add doubles? Or when do we add doubles?
We have consonants and the vowel.
Okay, so here we have a consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant. Same here, vowel. And you have all the rules in your grammar book, so please revise them well. Now for writing. Only the wisest know what type of advice to use and what to dismiss. Are you one of them? Write a fictional narrative describing a time where someone used bad advice and dismissed the right ones. First, complete the graphic organizer to outline your ideas. Then write out your organized fictional narrative. Use vocabulary words, sensory language, dialogue, transitions, and literary elements to make your writing richer. So here, what should you do first when you have a graphic organizer to complete? Okay, so you fill out the graphic organizer, or you should write out your developed writing first? First, you can brainstorm your ideas, throw ideas on a piece of paper, and then you organize them into an organizer. So you should write your title, characters, setting, your introduction, like one idea about that, a main event, another event, and then your conclusion. Just write out ideas. It shouldn't be where you write out your whole essay onto the organizer. You write out your whole items. Of course, you must give the irregular form. Number 1, Badia.
First, ing, killing.
Okay.
B.
How should we spell it?
Double N, ing.
Alright.
Began.
Began because it's an irregular verb. Okay. Occur. Hassan.
Occurring.
How should we spell it?
ing. Occur, ing.
Okay, so we add R-I-N-G. Very good. And occurred, R-E-D. So we must add an extra R. Hassan.
Trying.
Okay, can you spell trying?
Trying.
And tried?
Tried.
Okay, and refer?
Referring, we double the R
Double R.
and referred to double R.
Run.
Running, double N.
Do we always add doubles? Or when do we add doubles?
We have consonants and the vowel.
Okay, so here we have a consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant. Same here, vowel, And you have all the rules in your grammar book, so please revise them well. Now for writing. Only the wisest know what type of advice to use and what to dismiss. Are you one of them? Write a fictional narrative describing a time where someone used bad advice and dismissed the right ones. First, complete the graphic organizer to outline your ideas. Then write out your organized fictional narrative. Use vocabulary words, sensory language, dialogue, transitions, and literary elements to make your writing richer. So here, what should you do first when you have a graphic organizer to complete? Okay, so you fill out the graphic organizer, or you should write out your developed writing first?
Develop writing first.
First, you can brainstorm your ideas, throw ideas on a piece of paper, and then you organize them into an organizer. So you should write your title, characters, setting, your introduction, like one idea about that, a main event, another event, and then your conclusion. Just write out ideas. It shouldn't be where you write out your whole essay onto the organizer. You write out your whole essay into the part where it says developed writing. Okay? So let's discuss some ideas that we can write about where you didn't take good advice and you got into some problems. Can you give me a story about that? Let's just talk about some ideas where you want to tell your story? Okay, Badia?
Listening to strangers.
Okay, listening to strangers. Has that ever happened? Can you give me some more ideas? Like, what can you write about? What kind of story can you write about listening to strangers?
That listening to strangers is about advice. And,
Okay. What can happen if you listen to strangers? Okay, or killed. Okay, let's go to kidnapped. So if a stranger comes to you and asks you to help them out by going into their car and getting something for you. Good luck, my dears. Any more questions, any comments that you'd like to ask about the exam before we complete our recording?
No.
Remember, you can find this recording at iSchoolI.com. You go to teaching, you go to grade 8, and you'll find all exam reviews and all weekly reviews. Okay, good luck.